Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show.
Zhou Zhou looked at the loots. The healing technique was a yellow gold tier advanced grade skill. He was only at green bronze tier advanced grade now and could not learn it for the time being. As for the Holy Spirit's faith divine crystal, its introduction looked quite interesting. He saw a simple temple in the Kobold tribe just now. He could bring this into it and give it a try later. As for the Kobold tribe's god of death blessing race talent, it was not practical. Moreover, he would be targeted by Thanatos once he mastered it. Zhou Zhou was still very weak and did not want to be related to such an existence for the time being, so he would not learn it. The final Soul Reaper recruitment book was the loot that confused Zhou Zhou the most. Good God! It was really a divine kingdom tier soldier type. Unfortunately, there's only one Divine Kingdom tier soldier recruitment book. If only these kobolds were fog monsters, then I can put them in the monster ranch and constantly produce Divine Kingdom tier recruitment books. Zhou Zhou looked at the Soul Reaper recruitment book for a long time before thinking regretfully. The kobolds were natives of the High Continent. They naturally could not be placed in the monster ranches. However, Zhou Zhou was still quite happy to obtain a Divine Kingdom tier soldier. He had originally thought that he was only here to deal with this enemy who had provoked him. He did not expect to obtain any useful loot from the kobolds. The final green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragment was also something that he wanted very much. He could upgrade his rebellion talent when he returned with these 4 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments. Then, Zhou Zhou took out a conqueror's blast furnaces and asked the soldiers to retrieve the loot from the 300-odd kobold corpses. He came to this simple temple and saw the stone statue of Thanatos, the god of death, worshipped inside. Then he froze. This was because Thanatos' image was actually similar to the kobolds. However, it was taller and more dignified, and the clothes it wore were more simple and mysterious. The death sign that held in both hands was more intimidating. In front of the death god statue was a circular black altar. When Zhou Zhou saw this, he walked over and placed the Holy Spirit Faith Divine Crystal on the altar. I'm willing to offer this Holy Spirit tier Faith Divine Crystal to His Excellency, the God of Death, he said respectfully. Zhou Zhou did not dare to do anything to challenge the other party's dignity facing a god spirit, especially the god in charge of death. The temple was still calm after a long time. It's been a long time since I've seen such a good quality faith divine crystal. A deep voice suddenly sounded in his mind, just as Zhou Zhou thought that his sacrifice was useless. Greetings, god of death. Zhou Zhou was shocked, then said even more respectfully, a little lord of the supreme will. I'm very satisfied with your offering. If you obtain more Holy Spirit tier faith divine crystals in the future, you can send them to me. I will give you more rewards. It did not mention anything else after that. Zhou Zhou waited for a long time, but the god of death had no intention of talking to him again. He could not help but look up at the stone statue of the god of death after realizing that there was still no sound. Then, he was stunned. After becoming a chaos human, Zhou Zhou's memory and observation skills were already very good. Therefore, in his eyes, the gaze of the stone statue of the god of death was clearly more satisfied than before. Others might not be able to tell the difference. However, Zhou Zhou could tell with his powerful observation skills. He realized that the Holy Spirit's faith divine crystal had already disappeared when he looked at the altar again. In its place was a scroll. Zhou Zhou walked over and picked it up to take a look. This scroll was completely black and depicted the back of Thanatos. Treasure name: Death Immunity Scroll. Treasure grade: Epic Tier Advanced Grade. Treasure effect: when a living being suffers injuries that are fatal, using this scroll can immediately restore your state to its peak state before being injured. Treasure description: a mystical item created by the god of death Thanatos with the power of the law of death. It can allow the person who obtains it to be immune to a death crisis once. Prompt: it is ineffective against injuries at God tier level and above. Zhou Zhou's mouth fell open. A Holy Spirit tier Faith Divine Crystal was actually exchanged for an epic tier treasure from the god of death. Moreover, it was a life-saving item with such high practicality. Was this because the god of death was very generous? Or was the Holy Spirit faith divine crystal really that precious? Zhou Zhou thought in confusion. However, he then threw this doubt to the back of his mind. No matter how good the Holy Spirit faith divine crystal was, it was still trash to him who did not know how to use it. Moreover, this death immunity scroll was a treasure that could really save his life. Then, the items in front of him were naturally the best. He put it away happily and bowed respectfully to the stone statue of the god of death before leaving. Not long after he left, even the chaos human has appeared. Lords have appeared in the dragon world, the abyss, the divine world, the netherworld, the immortal world, and even outside the world. This Lord of all races competition is getting more and more interesting. A faint voice sounded. Then, it disappeared again. Outside the temple. After Zhou Zhou came out, he found Wu Xian and asked him to send a few people to stay here to guard this temple. Wu Xian agreed without asking for a reason. Elder Wu, are you feeling restless because there has been no battle big enough for you to feel even a little motivated? Zhou Zhou looked at his calm expression and could not help but smile. Your lordship saw through me. Wu Xian was stunned for a moment before nodding readily. Don't worry. We probably won't encounter a big battle like yesterday in a short period of time. But there's still a chance for you to test your skills, Elder Wu. Elder Wu, how about we take down this desolate Gobi today? Zhou Zhou said. He was no longer the same as before. It took him 6 days to conquer this black iron tier territory in the blazing sun desert. But now, he, who had already increased his strength, wanted to see if he could take down this black iron tier territory in a day. We can give it a try. We might not be able to return to Blazing Sun City today. Wu Xian said in a deep voice. Then we'll stay in the desolate city. Zhou Zhou made a decision. The most important reason why he left this desolate city intact behind back then was to use it as a springboard to occupy the entire desolate Gobi territory. As for building it into a commercial city, it was just an afterthought. It was time to make it work. Yes, my lord, Wu Xian said respectfully. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he brought people to the lord's courtyard here. After shattering the territory tablet, he obtained a green bronze tier advanced grade territory token. I can upgrade my territory when we get back. Zhou Zhou thought while looking at the territory token in his hand. 15 minutes later, more than 300 kobold corpses have all their loots extracted. Under the influence of the perfect loots, he obtained a total of 1,477 green bronze tier mist cores, 756 white silver tier mist cores, and 6 yellow gold tier mist cores. 321 soul roar skill books, black iron tier, green bronze tier, white silver tier. 321 racial talent spheres, god of death's blessing. Zhou Zhou took out a green bronze tier advanced grade book from the 321 soul roar skill books to learn. A skill named Soul Roar. Skill quality, green bronze tier advanced grade. Skill description. Concentrate your will and let out a soul-shocking roar at the enemy. There is a high chance of causing the enemy's soul to enter a dizzy state for enemies whose soul strength is lower than yours. There is also a small chance of causing the enemy's soul to be in a state of shock for enemies whose soul strength is higher than yours. After he finished learning, Bai also found the basic resources and mist cores stored in the Kobold tribe. Other than that, he also found a blueprint of the Temple of Death. However, this blueprint was not recognized by the Supreme Will. It was only a design blueprint for a self-built building. Zhou Zhou did not mind and put it away. This Kobold tribe was no longer of any value to them at this point. Zhou Zhou did not stay any longer. He left with the soldiers and rushed towards the first territory of the Scarlet Lord. Half an hour later, they first arrived at the territory of a black iron tier advanced grade Scarlet Lord. The lord of this Scarlet territory was a yellow python leader with the strength of a green bronze tier elementary grade. It had about 400 to 500 yellow python monster subjects under its command. These monsters were naturally helpless against Zhou Zhou's 5,000-strong army and Nazario, a pure-blooded dragon. In less than 15 minutes, this Scarlet Lord's territory had completely fallen. All the yellow python monsters were killed. As for Zhou Zhou's soldiers, under the cover of the dragon might, there were not even any injured people. Under the influence of the perfect loots, Zhou Zhou obtained 6 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments and 2 origin crystals from the yellow python leader's corpse. He also obtained a black iron tier intermediate grade territory token from the Lord's building. After that, Bai led the soldiers and spent half an hour cleaning up the battlefield. Zhou Zhou let the soldiers rest for another half an hour after retrieving all the loot before rushing to the second Scarlet Lord's territory. In the desolate Gobi, there were a total of 3 Scarlet Lords with black iron tier territory and 1 regional Scarlet Lord with green bronze tier territory. Zhou Zhou spent more than 3 hours dealing with the 3 Scarlet Lords who had black iron tier territory before arriving at the last Scarlet Lord's territory. Regional level Scarlet Lord, the territory of the Golem Lord. The sky gradually darkened. In the desert, Zhou Zhou looked at the distant regional Scarlet Lord's territory. More than 4,000 golems were lingering here. They are made up of converging Gobi boulders. Each golem was 3 to 4 meters tall. According to the information on Wu Tu's map, these golems had extremely strong bodies and were fearless in battle. Moreover, they did not have souls in their bodies since they were not flesh and blood creatures. Even the dragon might did not restrict them much. It's a tough fight. However, I'll have 2 territories under my command as long as I deal with them. Zhou Zhou thought. Zhou Zhou looked at the loots of the golems and lost interest. This was because there was only a skill book called Rock Armor other than the Mist Cores. It was similar to the loots of the previous 3 fog monsters, which were either skill books or ordinary equipment. Zhou Zhou's standards were also higher now with his 100% drop rate plus perfect loot. He was no longer interested in ordinary loot. He would only be interested in monsters that would drop special loot, such as soldier class change certificates, soldier recruitment books, building materials, and so on. This was because these monsters could be brought back to the monster ranch and become his daily fixed income. Its value naturally far exceeded that of ordinary monsters. It also made Zhou Zhou like it even more. He stopped thinking and turned to look at Wu Xian. Elder Wu, take down this regional Scarlet Lord's territory, he said. Yes, my lord, Elder Wu said respectfully. Then he rode on the dragon horse, his golden cloak fluttering in the desert wind. Soldiers, charge with me. Kill. Wu Xian took the lead and rushed out accompanied by a furious roar. Kill. Kill them. Charge. 2,000 sword shield soldiers and 1,000 Pudeo soldiers followed Wu Xian and rushed out. The 2,000 soldiers left behind were all long-range soldiers. Most of them were poisonous crossbowmen, and the rest were archers, crossbowmen, and musketeers. They began to attack the golems from afar. Arrows streaked across the sky like meteors and shot at the 4,000 golems. Even though low-level long-range soldiers could not cause much damage to these sturdy golems, high-level long-range soldiers could shoot holes in their bodies. Especially the new musketeers. Zhou Zhou only received 18 beginner soldier recruitment books in a novice lord test. Therefore, there were only 18 of each beginner soldier type and only 18 musketeers. Even though they were few in number, the commotion they caused was the greatest among the entire army. Ear-piercing gunshots sounded. It was so loud that even the distant soldiers beside them could not help but take a few more glances at them. These musketeers might only be at the lowest black iron tier elementary grade, but the damage they caused was no less than the damage caused by black iron tier advanced grade archers as beginner soldiers. The only disadvantage was that they were slow to reload. Moreover, there was a limited amount of ammunition. Zhou Zhou was deep in thought when he saw this. Even though musketeers like them could make homemade gunpowder bullets, the efficiency was low after all, and the power might not be much stronger. Maybe I can find that military industry lord to see if I can buy some modern firearms from him. I can also replenish my ammunition from him in the future. Zhou Zhou thought. Even though these 18 musketeers were small in numbers, he would not give up any chance to become stronger. At the same time, Wu Xian also led his army to charge at the 4,000 golems. These golems also discovered the 3,000 soldiers rushing over. They roared fearlessly as they charged at Wu Xian and the others while enduring the attacks of bullets and arrows. Wu Xian looked at the charging golems. Golden flames gradually burned in his eyes. Roar! A true dragon roar sounded in his body. His body slowly enlarged until he was 4 to 5 meters tall. His armor also enlarged, matching his figure. A pair of golden dragon horns grew on his head. A thick golden dragon tail also grew out of his tailbone. Yellow gold tier advanced grade bloodline skill, dragon blood transformation. At this moment, Wu Xian had turned into a half-dragon. At the same time, the dragon horse under him also let out a dragon-like roar. Then, golden dragon scales appeared on the surface of its body. At the same time, its body expanded until it could carry Wu Xian on its back. Boom! Golden airwaves spread out with the half-dragon and dragon horse as the center, forming the phantom of a golden dragon head. The skin and pupils of the soldiers in the range of the golden wave also turned golden. Their strength, speed, physical defense, and will to fight had all increased greatly, and they all caught up to Wu Xian's speed. In the blink of an eye, they formed the winding figure of an eastern dragon. It charged at these golems with an unstoppable and magnificent aura. Hero skill, Golden Dragon Break. Hero skill, Golden Dragon Break. Level, Special, Skill Effect. The Dragon Horse Spear will activate its own Golden Dragon bloodline and human bloodline so that it transforms into a dragon. It will use the power of the Golden Dragon to stimulate and mobilize the all-round quality of the soldiers under its command. It will also give the soldiers some characteristics of the Golden Dragon bloodline, forming an unstoppable Golden Dragon on the battlefield. It will break through the enemy's formation and crush the enemy's will. At this moment, Wu Xian used the Diamond Tier Advanced Grade Army Formation, Furry Array, and the Diamond Tier Advanced Grade Army Formation, Fire Array to increase the soldier's strength, speed, and will to fight by 15 times immediately. The sudden increase in combat strength made the Eastern Golden Dragon even more lifelike, and it even emitted a faint dragon pressure. This caused the charging aura of the 4,000-odd golems to stagnate. The Eastern Golden Dragon took advantage of this and instantly rushed into their formation, accompanied by a mighty roar. The golems were shattered one after another wherever it went. No golem could stop the Golden Dragon's charge. This Golden Dragon rushed from the front of the battlefield to the back of the battlefield, and then to the front just like that. After 2 Golden Dragon breaks, more than 1,500 of these 4,000 golems died. Wu Xian, who had used Golden Dragon Break twice, had not exhausted his remaining strength and was even maintaining his dragon blood transformation. However, the Golden Dragon gradually disappeared. His Golden Dragon eyes looked at the golems coldly. He felt that there was still about a third of the energy left in his body and felt that he could use the Golden Dragon Break again. However, he would probably enter a weak state after using it. As a wise and calm battlefield general, it was not what he wanted to see. Behind the battlefield, Nazario immediately raised its dragon head and looked at Wu Xian when he used the dragon blood transformation. Its scarlet dragon eyes revealed a human-like puzzled expression when it saw a very different dragon from its own dragon race arising from the Golden Dragon Break. There seemed to be no record of a dragon in this strange form in its dragon bloodline inheritance. However, Zhou Zhou, who was beside it, was immediately stunned when he saw Wu Xian use Golden Dragon Break. Wasn't this their Eastern Dragon? He originally thought that Wu Xian's Golden Dragon bloodline was a Western Dragon bloodline like Nazario's. He did not expect it to be the bloodline of an Eastern Dragon. After coming back to his senses, he looked at the puzzled Nazario beside him, and a sigh appeared on his face. An Eastern Dragon and a Western Dragon were gathered on the same battlefield. This could only be seen on a place like the High Continent where all races coexisted. Actually, speaking of which, it was similar to the inheritance of Eastern civilization. It also appeared in the talents of some lords of all races. For example, Zhou Zhou had heard that someone's lord talent was a yellow gold tier lord talent chi refiner when he was diving on the World Channel once. Not only did he have a special physique, the spiritual root constitution, the subjects of his territory also had a small chance of awakening their spiritual root physique. Moreover, there was a chance of obtaining items from the immortal Dao civilization when hunting monsters. However, it was said that this lord never appeared on the World Channel again. He could not even be added as a friend. The lords only knew that he was still alive, but no one knew where he was or what he was doing. This became one of the unsolved mysteries in the hearts of countless cerulean planet lords. That Chi Refiner Lord situation is similar to the Dragon God Lord and the Insect Lord. What happened to them? Why can't we contact them? Zhou Zhou frowned slightly. After thinking for a moment, he who had no clue did not think too much about it. Everyone had the same destination, where they would eventually meet, on the battlefield. After Wu Xian used the Golden Dragon Break, Bai Yi also used her hero skill, Blood Fire Arrow Rain. She was already at White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. The power of the Blood Fire Arrow Rain was even stronger than before. A wave of arrows killed nearly 2,000 golems. At this point, there were only about 500 golems left on the battlefield. This time, the Golem Lord, who wanted to be a coward, could not sit still anymore. It had always felt that an extremely terrifying aura was accumulating strength behind the battlefield. The Golem Lord felt that it could not defeat the other party, so it did not appear. It wanted to rely on these 4,000 Golem subjects to make the other party retreat. Unexpectedly, the two heroes opposite it killed more than half of its Golem subjects. This instantly stunned it. There was only one thought left in its mind. Run! Rumble! As the ground shook, a golem more than 20 meters tall crawled out from the ground. Then it balled up and rolled into the distance. The remaining 500 golems were stunned when they saw this. Why did your majesty surrender first when we are about to fight to the death? The soldiers were stunned for a moment before laughing heartlessly. At the back of the battlefield, Nazario had already spread its dragon wings and flew into the sky in pursuit without the need for Zhou Zhou to remind it. A moment later, a kill notification appeared in front of Zhou Zhou. Your pet lava dragon, Nazario, has killed the Golem Lord. One sure, Scarlet Lord. Promotion energy plus 800. Loots condensed. The territory of the Scarlet Lord has become ownerless. You can plunder or occupy it. The Blazing Sun Desert has become an ownerless area. After you obtain the regional token, you can become the regional lord of this area. A smile appeared on Zhou Zhou's face. A moment later, Nazario grabbed the corpse of the Golem Lord and placed it in front of Zhou Zhou. He looked at the stone corpse. Its stone brain had already been burned to lava, and the other parts of its body had also been burned to charcoal. This regional Scarlet Lord's defense was second to none, but it was still not enough against the magma dragon breath of a pure-blooded dragon. A corpse notification appeared. Monster name: Golem Lord, one sure regional level Scarlet Lord. Strength level: White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Monster description: the strongest Scarlet Lord in the desolate Gobi Desert. It controls the entire barren Gobi Desert and has many golem subjects under its command. Its physical defense is extremely strong, and it is not afraid of soul attacks. It can be said to be a tyrant in the desolate Gobi Desert. Loots: 20 White Silver Tier Mist Cores, drop rate 100%. 5 Origin Crystals, drop rate 100%. 1 White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Skill Book, Rock Armor, drop rate 5%. 1 White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Skill Book, Summon Golem Leader, drop rate 2%. 1 White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Alchemy Technology Product Blueprint, Mist Energy Cannon, drop rate 1%. 5 Black Iron Tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragments, drop rate 0%. Mist Energy Cannon? Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. He didn't think too much about it. He chose to extract it directly. Lord Talent Notification: Your loots have been enhanced by the King of Loots, Perfect Loots. Grade +1. Lord Talent Hint. You have obtained Perfect Loots, 20 units of Mist Cores, Yellow Gold Tier. 1 Skill Book, Rock Armor, Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade. 1 Skill Book, Summon Golem Lord, Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade. 1 Alchemy Technology Product Blueprint, Mist Energy Cannon, Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade. 5 Lord Talent Crystal Fragments, Green Bronze Tier. The next second, the Golem Lord's corpse became a loot. Zhou Zhou put away the 20 Yellow Gold Tier Mist Cores first and looked at the other loots. As the name suggested, Rock Armor was a skill that formed a layer of rock armor on the surface of the body to defend against external attacks. While Summon Golem Lord was to summon a white silver tier advanced grade Golem Lord, not the Scarlet Lord, to fight for him. Zhou Zhou could not learn them for the time being, as they were both yellow gold tier advanced grade skills. He could only put them away for the time being. Then, he looked at the Alchemy Technology Product Blueprint. This was the first time Zhou Zhou had obtained a new Alchemy Technology Product Blueprint. Alchemy Technology Product Blueprint. Mist Energy Cannon. Grade. Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade. Product Effect. It can fire cannonballs with huge power with mist cores as the core energy source. Its furthest range is 5,000 meters. It is often used to kill giant creatures, creatures with powerful vitality, attack strength, and naval battles. Product description. One of the most famous products of alchemy technology. It is extremely powerful on the battlefield and is often widely used by the major countries of the High Continent in war. Learning requirement. Can only be learned by alchemy technicians. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. The Mist Energy Cannon Product Blueprint came at the right time. The official Lord War had already begun. Siege battles would definitely not be rare in the war that will follow. The Mist Energy Cannon would be able to shine then. They would have probably lost a huge number of troops when capturing Kunt City previously, if not for the safe passage provided by Zhang Kaishan, and without Nazario taking action. However, everything would become simple with this Mist Energy Cannon. He frowned again in no time. The grade of this Mist Energy Cannon is too high. Ashburn had just broken through to the green bronze tier elementary grade the last time I saw him. He shouldn't be at the yellow gold tier advanced grade yet. I don't think he can learn how to make the Mist Energy Cannon. Then who can I get to learn this Mist Energy Cannon blueprint? He muttered. After thinking for a moment, Zhou Zhou, who still had no choice, could only put away the blueprint first. He could only take it out in the future when he had the chance to use it. The last 5 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments also made him smile. Previously, he had fought the Scarlet Lords in the 3 black Iron Tier territories and obtained a total of 13 green Bronze Tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragments and 4 Origin Crystals. Now, he had obtained a total of 9 Origin Crystals coupled with the loots dropped by the Golem Lord. He now had 29 green Bronze Tier Lord Talent Crystal Fragments, which was enough to upgrade 2 black Iron Tier Lord Talents. However, he would only upgrade his Insight Defection talent, not his Return to City talent. After that, he would accumulate another white silver tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal and upgrade it to the white silver tier or even higher. If possible, he wanted to see the effect of upgrading the Insight Defection talent to the mythical stage. A moment later, the remaining 500 golems on the battlefield were dealt with by the soldiers. Then, the soldiers began to clean up the battlefield. At the same time, Zhou Zhou took out 5 Conqueror's blast furnace to extract the more than 4,000 golem corpses. A moment later, "My lord, I found the territory token tablet." Bai quickly walked over and reported respectfully. "Take me there?" Zhou Zhou immediately said, "Yes, please follow me, my lord." After Bai finished speaking, she brought Zhou Zhou into the territory of the golems. After walking for a while, Zhou Zhou and Bai found it on a ground filled with shattered rocks. "We did not find this territory tablet at the beginning. In the end, I asked Lord Nazario and found out that the territory tablet was completely wrapped up by these golems with Gobi rocks. We only found this territory tablet after shattering the rocks wrapped outside," Bai said respectfully. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. "They're quite good at hiding it. Then, he asked Bai Yi to shatter this territory stone tablet with 100,000 durability. The territory stone tablet shattered with a bang, revealing the two tokens inside under Bai Yi's 5 fire vine arrows. One of them was a green bronze tier advanced grade territory token. The other token was the regional token of the desolate Gobi Desert. On the front was the word region, and on the back were the words desolate Gobi. After Zhou Zhou put away the territory token, he immediately picked up this regional token. A text notification appeared. Treasure name, regional token. Area name, desolate Gobi, changeable. Regional grade, black iron tier. Region area, about 611 square kilometers. Treasure description, regional token of the blazing sun desert. The lord who possesses the regional token and fuses it with the territory stone tablet can become the regional lord of the blazing sun desert and obtain a regional exclusive treasure chest. I can completely control the entire desolate Gobi if I were to just integrate it into my territory tablet. I will have 2 regional territories then. Zhou Zhou thought expectantly. Then, he left with Bai Yi. More than half an hour later, all the loots of the golems had been extracted. Under the effect of the perfect loot, he obtained a total of 15,064 green bronze tier miss cores, 5,894 white silver tier miss cores, 784 yellow gold tier miss cores, 4,106 rock armor skill books, green bronze tier, white silver tier, yellow gold tier, 1,842 white silver tier summon golem elite, 112 yellow gold tier summon golem leader. Other than that, Bai Yi also found a total of 420,000 units of basic resources and a small number of missed cores and ordinary building blueprints after her troops searched this scarlet territory. At this point, this territory of the golems was worthless to Zhou Zhou. It was getting late. Zhou Zhou did not want to stay here, so he directly led the soldiers to the desolate city. It only took 15 minutes for Zhou Zhou and the others to arrive at the desolate city since they marched rapidly. Zhang Kaishan and his brother, who had long received the news, were pleasantly surprised that the Lord had actually taken down the desolate Gobi. They hurriedly brought people out to welcome him from outside the city. They immediately bowed happily when they saw Zhou Zhou and the others arrive. "Congratulations on your victorious return, my lord." Zhou Zhou nodded and was welcomed into the Lord's courtyard. In the Lord's courtyard, Zhang Kaishan and his brother were guarding the door. Zhou Zhou was sitting at a table in the house. There were 10 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments on this table. Zhou Zhou looked at them and prepared to upgrade his insight defection talent. Zhou Zhou looked at them. Soon, a line of golden words slowly appeared. 10 green bronze tier Lord Talent crystal fragments discovered. Do you want to fuse them into a green bronze tier Lord Talent origin divine crystal? Yes, Zhou Zhou said. The next second, a bronze light flashed. A hexagonal bronze crystal the size of a thumb appeared in front of him. It was surrounded by a bronze belt of light that looked like a ring of stars. It was the green bronze tier Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal. A text notification appeared. Treasure name, Lord Talent Origin Divine Crystal. Treasure grade, green bronze tier. Treasure effect 1. The Lord will randomly awaken a green bronze tier Lord Talent after absorbing it. Treasure effect 2. Lords with black iron tier Lord Talents can use it to upgrade their black iron tier Lord Talents to green bronze tier Lord Talents. Treasure description. A law treasure condensed by the supreme will. It can be used to awaken talent or upgrade talents. Absorb/upgrade. Upgrade, Zhou Zhou said in a low voice. Awakening a new green bronze tier Lord Talent might be very tempting, but that was too random. Zhou Zhou would regret like crazy if he awakened a Lord Talent similar to return to the city. Please choose one to advance which one of your 2 black iron tier Lord Talents, Insight Defection and return to the city to upgrade. I choose to upgrade the Insight Defection, Zhou Zhou said. Lord Talent has been chosen. Upgrading in progress. The next second, He suddenly felt a familiar warmth between his eyebrows. This feeling, he had felt it when he advanced to the mythical tier king of loots. He felt it again now. A moment later, the warmth faded. A new text notification appeared. Lord Talent upgrade successful. Congratulations, your Black Iron Tier Lord Talent, Insight Defection, has been upgraded to Green Bronze Tier Lord Talent, Insight Defection. The following effect have been upgraded to Green Bronze Tier. Lord Talent, Insight Defection, Green Bronze Tier. Insight Defection, a Lord's exclusive talent. You can activate the Insight Defection talent to turn 5% of the enemy Lord's forces into your loyal subordinates when you fight the enemy Lord head-on. Lord Talent Hint 1. The lowest limit of the number of enemies defecting is 1 unit of enemy, and the highest is 30,000 units of enemy. The loyalty of the enemy after defection is at least 80 points. Lord Talent Notification 2. Currently, the upper limit of the Lord faction level that you can induce Insight Defection is the White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade Lord faction. This upper limit can grow. Lord Talent Hint 3. This talent can only be activated once a day. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction after reading it. Only 2 numbers had changed. The first was that the percentage of enemies who had Insight Defection had changed from 2% to 5%. The second was that the upper limit of the number of enemies for Insight Defection had increased from 10,000 units to 30,000 units. Zhou Zhou was pleasantly surprised. He did not expect that the advancement from Black Iron Tier to Green Bronze Tier would have such a good effect on Insight Defection. A 5% Insight Defection ratio. If the enemy base was high, this 5% could completely unleash an astonishing effect. A moment later, after Zhou Zhou's mood returned to normal, he called Zhang Kaishan and his brother in. "Greetings, my lord." The 2 brothers immediately greeted respectfully. "MHM. As you can see, I've already completely conquered the desolate Gobi. Next, I'll give you a task which you have to do well. Tomorrow, send people to clean up the scattered fog monsters in the entire desolate Gobi so that the fog monsters will no longer disturb the desolate Gobi. You should have heard that this desolate city is going to become a commercial city, right? Clearing the scattered monsters in the area so that there are no more safety hazards here is the foundation for this matter. You should understand the importance of this matter. This is the map of the desolate Gobi. It records the distribution of scattered monsters in the desolate Gobi area. You can just use it to clean up the monsters." Zhou Zhou took out a map dungeon of the desolate Gobi and handed it to them. "From tomorrow onwards, we will immediately clear out the scattered monsters in the desolate Gobi area. We guarantee that it will not affect the Lord's plans for the commercial city." Zhang Kaishan said respectfully. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. "Also, as a city of commerce, it's not good to call it Desolate City anymore. From now on, Desolate City will be changed to Sand Gold City. The desolate Gobi will become Sand Gold Land." Zhou Zhou said. "Yes, one last thing. Sand Gold City will be a commercial city in the future. I definitely can't let you 2, who don't understand business, continue to be city lords. I'll send a new city lord over tomorrow. This new city lord will be very proficient in business matters. He will become the new city lord of Sand Gold City and preside over Sand Gold City's future business development plan. And you 2 will take a step back and become the vice city lord of Sand Gold City. You have to cooperate with him. Help him develop Sand Gold City well. Do you have any objections?" Zhou Zhou looked at the 2 of them. He thought that the 2 of them would be indignant after hearing his words. After all, they had been city lords for a day or 2. However, when the 2 of them heard this news, not only were they not unwilling, they even heaved a sigh of relief. "I have no objections. I can't be happier." Zhang Kaishan could not help but laugh. Zhou Zhou was stunned. "We brothers also know that we don't have much business talent with our subordinates. I was terrified when I heard about this, because we brothers know that it will be very difficult for us to develop the business city well. If we do something wrong and ruin the business city development plan in your heart, we will definitely be punished. Now the Lord has given this burden to someone else. It's the best choice for us. We're overjoyed. Why would we have any objections? They saw the confusion on Zhou Zhou's face and hurriedly explained. When Zhou Zhou heard this, he quietly opened their loyalty and realized that their loyalty had reached 91 and 92 points. Only then did he confirm that the two of them were not lying, and a satisfied expression appeared on his face. Not bad. These two people were quite self-aware. He liked people who knew what they could and couldn't do. Originally, he still had some grudges against their previous backgrounds. Now, these grudges dissipated because of what the two of them said. It's for you. Work for me in this way from now on. I won't forget your benefits. He took out 100 yellow gold tier mist cores and placed them beside them. Thank you for the reward, my lord. When the two of them saw the 100 yellow gold tier mist cores, their breathing immediately quickened. His lordship was actually so generous. 2 lines of notifications flashed across Zhou Zhou's eyes. Their loyalty reached 95 and 96 points. The corners of Zhou Zhou's mouth twitched. These two people, their money-loving nature had not changed. He shook his head. He didn't care. Who didn't love money? A moment later, Zhou Zhou asked Wu Xian, Bai Yi, and the others to temporarily camp in Sand Gold City. He stepped on Nazario's back and flew to Blazing Sun City alone. He planned to go back and upgrade his territory. In addition, he would integrate the Sand Gold Lands regional order into the Territory Stone Tablet so that he could completely occupy 2 regional territories. A moment later, before the Scarlet Fog appeared, Zhou Zhou rushed back to Blazing Sun City. However, the moment he entered the city, Zhou Zhou saw Wu Xian chatting with 3 old men. When they saw Zhou Zhou, Wu Xian immediately stood up and bowed. When the 3 elders found out that the young man who had suddenly arrived was the Lord of the Blazing Sun, surprise flashed in their eyes. Then, they stood up and bowed. You don't have to be polite with me. May I know who you are? Zhou Zhou asked doubtfully. The 3 of us have admired my lord for a long time. We're here this time. I'm here to seek refuge with you and serve you, my lord. And find a place to retire. A chubby old man among the 3 chuckled. Retirement. What a familiar word. Zhou Zhou immediately reacted. These were the talents that he had attracted with the 3 points of reputation rating he had obtained in the newbie test. However, he looked at the 3 old men. For a moment, he did not know what to say. How did Blazing Sun City really become a center for senior cadres? He complained in his heart. Zhou Zhou looked at the 3 talents attracted by his reputation rating. There were a total of 3 men and 1 woman. They were all white-haired old men. He looked at their attribute information. The first was the chubby old man, just now. Subject, Qin Jiangsheng. Territory, Blazing Sun City. Life profession, merchant. Profession class, extraordinary tier, elementary grade. Ability overview. The former finance minister of the Aurora Kingdom who was trusted by the Aurora King. He was a businessman who traveled everywhere when he was young. Later, he encountered the Aurora King and was appreciated by the king. From then on, he entered the palace to become an official and finally became the finance minister. Skills. Extraordinary tier elementary grade commerce. Extraordinary elementary grade financial management. Extraordinary tier elementary grade tax management. Extraordinary tier elementary grade mental arithmetic. Diamond tier advanced grade bargaining. Diamond tier advanced grade eloquence. Diamond tier advanced grade speech. Diamond tier intermediate grade appeasement. Diamond tier intermediate grade advice. Diamond tier advanced grade management. Diamond tier incentive. Diamond tier debate. Loyalty, 81. Potential, extraordinary tier advanced grade. Zhou Zhou could not help but look at this amiable and chubby old man. He was actually at extraordinary tier elementary grade. This was the first time he had seen such a talented professional. The second person was an old man in a white robe. Not only was his face kind, but he was also handsome. The moment Zhou Zhou saw this old man, he felt that he must have been a handsome man when he was young. Subject, Bai Yuejing. Territory, Blazing Sun City. Life profession, doctor. Profession class, Diamond Tier Intermediate Grade. Ability Overview. The Aurora Kingdom's Imperial Physician. He was once the vice president of the Aurora Doctor Association. He saved countless people in his life and was passionate about treating commoners. He was loved by the Aurora subjects. Skills, talent, appeasement, Diamond Tier Intermediate Grade Medical Theory, Diamond Tier Intermediate Grade Medicinal Herb Processing, Diamond Tier Intermediate Grade Potion, Life Restoration Potion, Diamond Tier Intermediate Grade Surgical Healing, Diamond Tier Intermediate Grade Internal Medicine Healing, Diamond Tier Intermediate Grade Epidemic Healing, Diamond Tier Intermediate Grade Limb Suture, Diamond Tier Elementary Grade War Psychological Rehabilitation. Loyalty, 85. Potential, Extraordinary Tier Intermediate Grade. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. A Diamond Tier Intermediate Grade Doctor. He immediately thought of Bao Xiuer's Grandmaster, Li Huiwei. That person was still seriously ill and was staying in Yuchuan town to recuperate. Zhongli was also taking care of her. He did not know if this Diamond Tier Intermediate Grade Doctor would be able to treat her illness. He could bring this doctor over to take a look tomorrow. Zhou Zhou immediately made a decision. Then, he looked at the last old man. This old man's clothes were completely different from the two people in front of him. He looked a little unrestrained. He had a large saber hanging from his waist. Even though he looked old, a sharp aura would occasionally appear in his eyes. Subject, Luofeng. Territory, Blazing Sun City. Combat class name, Martial Artist. Strength level, Yellow Gold Tier Intermediate Grade. Ability Overview. A green forest hero of the Aurora Kingdom. He is easily angered and likes to fight for justice. His blood demon saber technique makes countless evil people tremble in fear. There are no vengeful souls under his saber, but he is also pursued by the Aurora Kingdom because he disregarded the law and killed people without permission. He is currently a fugitive from the Aurora Kingdom. Skills, White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade Martial Arts Manual, Blood Demon Saber Technique, White Platinum Tier Intermediate Grade Martial Arts Manual, Wind Chasing Steps, Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade Martial Arts Manual, Black Water Mystic Shield, White Silver Tier Intermediate Grade Martial Arts Manual, Turtle Breathing Technique. Loyalty, 81. Potential, Extraordinary Tier Intermediate Grade. A wanted criminal? Zhou Zhou looked at him. The other party grinned and revealed a forthright smile. My lord, don't tell me you want to capture me to exchange for the bounty. My bounty in the Aurora Kingdom is also in the hundreds of White Platinum Tier mist cores. Sometimes, I'm tempted to sell myself for some reward money. I won't be surprised if my lord has such intentions. Luo Feng said casually. I've always admired heroes who dare to attack the injustice of the world. Senior Luo, you don't have to test me like this. Moreover, I don't fancy those hundreds of White Platinum Tier mist cores. Zhou Zhou said calmly. My lord, aren't you afraid that the Aurora Kingdom will chase me here? Luo Feng looked at Zhou Zhou in surprise and asked with a smile. Zhou Zhou smiled. This is the previous great general of the Aurora Kingdom, Elder Wu Xi. Our vice city lord of Blazing Sun City was one of the three former prime ministers, Zheng Yuanqi, Elder Zheng, and this Elder Qian, who has just joined the Aurora Kingdom, who was once the finance minister of the Aurora Kingdom. And I'm slightly less famous. I'm just the strongest novice lord among our cerulean planet's human lords, and admired by the Supreme Will, even though I'm the least famous and experienced. But with these people backing me up, I don't think anyone will be blind enough to barge into my territory and take you down. Don't you think so, senior? He said. My lord is right. Looks like I've really found a good place to retire. Luo Feng raised his eyebrows. Then, he pondered for a few seconds and nodded. Compared to these people, especially compared to Zhou Zhou, the strongest novice lord, who had entered the sight of the Supreme Will, his wanted criminal status was indeed nothing. As long as the officials of the Aurora Kingdom had any brains, they would not offend this lord. So senior can live with me in peace. Zhou Zhou said. He did not care much about the other party's probing. As a lord, he still had this amount of tolerance. However, his tolerance did not mean that others would take it lying down. Luo Feng. I was only willing to communicate with you because I saw that you had never done anything wrong and that you wanted to join my lord. But you shouldn't have probed the Lord. Remember, your ability is nothing to us. You're just a wanted criminal who came here to ask for help. Wu Xin looked at Luo Feng coldly. The faint heroic pressure and dragon blood pressure made Luo Feng's heart tremble. I know my mistake. Please forgive me, my lord. Luo Feng admitted defeat without hesitation. We're family. Everyone, be harmonious. Zhou Zhou chuckled. The tense atmosphere finally returned to normal. Qian Jiangsheng and Bai Yuejing looked at Wu Xin in surprise. As a former official of the Aurora Kingdom, they knew the temper of the former general in front of them. Logically speaking, it was very difficult for him to submit to someone, let alone personally protect him like this. According to their understanding, only the Aurora King and his good friend, Zheng Yuanqi, could make him do this. And this lord actually only used a few days to be treated like this by General Wu. How'd he do this? They were very surprised. Wu Xin saw the meaning in their eyes and said calmly, I've become a hero, all thanks to my lord. My lord allowed me to be reborn. Therefore, those who humiliate our lord, it's equivalent to humiliating me. Towards the end, he even glanced at Luo Feng. Luo Feng broke out in cold sweat. At the same time, the three of them looked at Wu Xin in shock. He did not expect this great general to really get what he wanted and become a legendary hero. Then, they looked at Zhou Zhou, feeling that this lord was getting more unfathomable. At the same time, they felt that they had really followed the right person. Oh yes. Where's Elder Zheng? Zhou Zhou asked, as if he did not see the gazes of the three of them. Elder Zheng went to Fish Spring Town not long ago. He said that he was discussing the establishment of a trade route with Zhang Bowen. I don't think he'll be able to come back today. Wu Xin said. Zhou Zhou also remembered this. One more thing. My lord, we're here this time with a message for you other than wanting to join your territory. Qian Jiangxing said. What is it? Zhou Zhou asked curiously. His Majesty the Aurora King heard about how you helped Fish Spring Town and your performance in the Novice Lord test. He has already asked Her Highness the Princess to bring gifts over. They'll probably be here tomorrow. Qian Jiangxing said. Zhou Zhou nodded. After that, he did not chat much. Instead, he went to the Gate of Summoning and took out the Soul Reaper recruitment book he had obtained from the Kobold tribe. Then, he threw it into the Gate of Summoning. Soon, a 4 to 5 meter tall kobold wearing a black robe and holding a huge black sickle in both hands walked out of the Gate of Summoning. Greetings, my lord. Soul Reaper Maris is at your service. It half knelt on the ground and said respectfully. Zhou Zhou stood in front of it. He could feel the terrifying death aura that the other party naturally emitted. This aura seemed to be able to suppress souls. Zhou Zhou could feel a sense of oppression even when he stood in front of it. Welcome to Blazing Sun City. He smiled. Then he opened its interface information. Subject Maris. Territory, Blazing Sun City. Soldier name, Soul Reaper, Divine Kingdom Tier Soldier. Strength level, Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade. Ability overview. Member of the 6th Party of the 7th Battalion of Thanatos, the God of Death's Soul Reaper Corps. Possess the terrifying ability to harvest souls. Skills. Divine Kingdom Tier Soldier Talent, Soul Harvest, Divine Kingdom Tier Soldier Talent, Soul Absorption, Divine Kingdom Tier Soldier Talent, Physical Immunity, Talent, Soul Leaving the Body, Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade Battlefield Killing Technique. Loyalty, 85. Potential, Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade. Zhou Zhou could not help but be curious. He opened its skill description and took a look. Then he understood the ability of this Soul Reaper. This Soul Reaper could use its soul to harvest this Divine Kingdom Tier talent and kill living beings of the same level in an almost instant while ignoring physical attacks. Moreover, the souls of the living beings it killed would be absorbed by it and become nourishment for its growth. It could be said that if 100 black iron tier elementary grade monsters appeared in front of it, only these monsters did not have the ability to defend against soul attacks. It could quickly kill these 100 monsters in a few seconds and make itself stronger. These 100 monsters would not even be able to resist. Soul Reapers could also deal a certain amount of damage to the enemy's soul, even when facing enemies stronger than it. After many blows, it would be very easy to kill enemies above its level. This is simply a lawnmower on the battlefield. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. However, he had to see for himself what the actual combat was like. Then, he asked Maris to find a residence to rest while he went to the Lord's courtyard to prepare to upgrade his territory. In front of the Lord's courtyard, Zhou Zhou looked at the scene in front of him. A line of text appeared just as he received the 50 green bronze tier Aurora crystals. "Do you want to upgrade the Lord's courtyard?" "Yes," he said. The next second, 200,000 units of basic materials, 1,000 green bronze tier mist cores, 6 origin crystals, and 3 green bronze tier territory tokens instantly disappeared. Boom! A golden light immediately covered the entire Lord's wooden house. A moment later, the golden light dissipated. Zhou Zhou looked over. The Lord's courtyard had already changed drastically. Its area had expanded by more than 10 times. At the same time, the entire building had changed from its original courtyard style to an ancient mansion. At the same time, the building's inside and outside looked even more imposing and dignified. Rows of notifications appeared. "Congratulations! Your Lord's courtyard has been upgraded to a white silver tier elementary grade building. It has been upgraded to a Lord's mansion. There is an additional mansion. Your territory has been upgraded to a white silver tier elementary grade territory. Territory token durability increased to 200,000/200,000. Your territory has expanded to 30,000 m times 30,000 m times 5,000 m. All fog monsters within the territory of the new territory have been expelled. Scarlet fog will not appear in any of your territories. You have received an upgrade reward. Administrative Hall, white silver tier elementary grade. Lord Talent hint. The upper limit of the enemy lord's power that you can instigate to defect has been increased to diamond tier elementary grade. Lord Talent hint. Your monster ranches can be upgraded. Lord Talent hint. Your mysterious caravan faction has increased. The notification had just passed. A ball of golden light appeared in Zhou Zhou's hand. After the light dissipated, a blueprint floated down. It was the building blueprint of the white silver tier elementary grade administrative hall. Before he could see the specific attributes of this blueprint, 3 lines of golden text appeared in front of him again. It also appeared in front of all the Cerulean Planet Lords. Cerulean Planet World Channel announcement. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun on becoming the first Lord to upgrade his territory to the white silver tier elementary grade. Reward: Supreme Treasure Chest +1, Reputation Rating +1, Race Unique Title, Blazer's Glory I has advanced to Blazer's Glory 2. Cerulean Planet World Channel announcement. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun. Cerulean Planet World Channel announcement. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun. The title has advanced. A smile appeared on Zhou Zhou's face. He was so anxious to return to level up his territory, because he wanted to take down the Blazer's Glory 2 earlier so that others wouldn't intercept him. Even if others intercepted, they could only obtain the Blazer's Glory Eye. But that was not what he wanted to see. Then, he opened the World Channel. He was refreshed and prepared to be flattered by the Lords. At this moment, the Cerulean Planet Lords on the World Channel were discussing his matter as he had expected. Oh my God, it's only the 8th day and Big Boss Blazing Sun is already in a white silver tier elementary grade territory. I'm only at the black iron tier advanced grade. I already feel that I'm not bad. Brother above, your territory level is really good. I heard from the Lord of the Dragon Blood Alliance that the Dragon Lady Lord is only a green bronze tier intermediate grade territory. The subsequent upgrades of the territory are starting to require territory tokens. I envy the big shots who can upgrade the territory. The territory of the Dragon Lady Lord. Susanna looked at the announcement in front of her and frowned slightly. He already has a white silver tier elementary grade territory, which meant Lord of the Blazing Sun has already conquered at least 6 green bronze tier territories. He's just one person. He's never formed an alliance or joined another alliance. How did he do it? Could it be that I can't surpass him even if I establish an alliance? Susanna muttered to herself. However, her eyes became firm. That's not right. We can definitely surpass them. It's just that I haven't fully unleashed the power of the alliance. Now that there's the threat of the lords of all races' battlefield activities, coupled with the distance between the lords, most of the alliance members want to conserve their strength and can't easily send forces to help me. That's why my alliance advantage can't be fully displayed. In the future, after the lords can gather their strength and unleash the power of the alliance, at that time, the lone lord of the Blazing Sun will definitely be completely left in the dust by me. Susanna firmly believed that she had made the right choice. Then she looked at the alliance chat group she had formed. There were more than 10 million lords inside. However, most of the lords here came from all over the high continent. It was almost a fantasy to cross such a long distance to help her. There were actually only about 100 lords who could really send their own forces over. Even if there were more than 100 lord factions, she had to use her interests to bind them before they were willing to send forces to help her. Susanna did not care. For the sake of her future prospects, she was still determined to fork out some of the benefits she had paid in the early stages. The Overlord Lord's Territory. Xiang Shuaba, who was more than 3 meters tall and had a pair of blood-colored wings on his back, looked at the entire channel announcement as he ate the beast meat in his mouth. Don't be anxious. Lord of the Blazing Sun. Let's see when we get to the finish line. Let's see if you're the strongest when you develop your territory with all your might. Or is my gluttonous demon body stronger? The fighting spirit in his eyes deepened. At the same time, just as the announcement appeared in front of all the Cerulean planet lords, a chat group formed by 11 Cerulean planet lords called the Sun Extermination Association was also discussing the Lord of the Blazing Sun. They were all Cerulean planet lords near the Aurora Kingdom. This was because they knew that the territory of the Lord of the Blazing Sun was also near the Aurora Kingdom. Therefore, they got to know each other on the World Channel and gathered their friends to form this alliance called the Sun Extermination Association. The goal was simple. There were only 2 points. First, cooperate with each other and develop together to protect their status as lords. Secondly, eliminate the greatest threat, the Lord of the Blazing Sun. This was because the territory of the Lord of the Blazing Sun was the closest to them. Therefore, the second goal was even more important than the first. The Lord of the Blazing Sun already has a white silver tier elementary grade territory. We can't let him develop any more. Don't be anxious. Have you found the exact location of the Lord of the Blazing Sun's territory? I know a high-ranking official in the palace. According to him, the territory of the Lord of the Blazing Sun is near Fish Springtown. Fish Springtown? Is it the town where the mysterious merchant appeared recently? Yes, that's it. F***CK. It's so close to my territory. My territory is in the thorn dune beside it. Let's mourn for the person above. Brothers, don't wait anymore. Let's gather and rush over tomorrow. Hurry up and deal with the Lord of the Blazing Sun. This way, our greatest problem will be gone. Then, we can even get a share of the wealth of the Lord of the Blazing Sun. That's the wealth accumulated by the top Cerulean planet lord. Aren't you tempted? Our alliance has just been established. We can't go out easily before we figure out the way to meet up. Then what should I do? Don't worry. The battlefield of the lords of all races is imminent. The other party won't have the time to attack you. However, we have to make a move during the Lord of all races battlefield event. Otherwise, it will be even harder for us to take him down after the event. Agreed. We'll deal with the Lord of the Blazing Sun during the Myriad Races Lord Battlefield event. Agreed +1? +1. Zhou Zhou naturally did not know that there was already a Sun Extermination Association that was quietly established and was planning to deal with him. He was looking at the blueprint in his hand. He had only seen this administrative hall in Fish Springtown. However, he had never seen it in Zhao Changshuo's list of building skills. Logically speaking, it was impossible for a top architect like Zhao Changshuo not to know how to build an important territory building like the administrative hall. However, it was not in his skill list. From this, it could be seen how special this building was. He looked at the building blueprint. He quickly found out the reason. Construction blueprint name: Administrative Hall, one-time use blueprint. Blueprint grade: White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. Blueprint effect: Special Building Blueprint. An architect of White Silver Tier Elementary Grade and above will hold this blueprint and use the corresponding construction materials to build an administrative place specially for the territory officials to deal with the territory's matters. Construction materials: 20,000 units of wood, 20,000 units of fine sand, 20,000 units of metal, 20,000 units of stone, 100 white silver tier mist cores, 1 origin crystal. Prompt 1. This blueprint is a one-time use blueprint. It will disappear after being used. Prompt 2. After the construction is successful, the administrative hall will be upgraded as the territory upgrades. Zhou Zhou looked at the blueprint and raised his eyebrows. This was the first time he had seen such a one-time use blueprint, and it could not be learned permanently by an architect. This should be a functional building similar to the Gate of Summoning. That's why architects can't learn. We can only obtain its blueprint by upgrading the territory and build it at once. Zhou Zhou pondered. Then, he called over a yellow gold tier advanced grade architect and went to a suitable location with him, preparing to build the administrative hall here. Zheng Yuanqi had told him this position. It was also an empty space specially reserved by Zheng Yuanqi for the construction officials' offices. However, after he left this empty space, he did not build any buildings. Previously, Zhou Zhou had been puzzled. Now he was enlightened. Zheng Yuanqi must have known that he would be able to obtain the blueprint of the administrative hall sooner or later, so he specially left this empty space. Then, this yellow gold tier advanced grade architect used the blueprint of the administrative hall in front of Zhou Zhou. 80,000 units of basic materials, 100 white silver tier mist cores, and 1 origin crystal immediately disappeared. The next second, the blueprint in the other party's hand instantly turned into a golden light and landed on this empty space. The golden light gradually enlarged and finally formed the golden outline of a tall building. A moment later, the golden light dissipated. A 3-story office building with white and blue as the main colors appeared in front of Zhou Zhou. It was the same style as the administrative hall he had seen in Fish Springtown. Zhou Zhou looked at it. The building information appeared. Building name: Administrative Hall. Territory level: White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. Building effect: a special building in the territory that can allow the territory officials to deal with the territory's matters. Specific function 1. The efficiency of the territory increases by 100%. Specific effect 2. Reduces the probability of crimes happening in the territory by 10%. Specific function 3. Slowly increase the loyalty of your subjects. Specific function 4. Officials can obtain a different amount of promotion energy when they deal with specific administrative matters in the territory. Building description: nothing is permanent. Those that are useful will be promoted. Those who are useless will be demoted. Zhou Zhou nodded. The effect of this building was indeed not bad. In particular, Zhou Zhou was even more satisfied with the fact that officials could obtain promotion energy by handling territory matters. With this building effect, as long as his territory officials took on a military or combat profession. In the future, even if his territory officials did not go out to hunt monsters, they could obtain promotion energy by handling territory matters to increase their strength. Then he entered and took a few glances. He realized that it was similar to what he had seen in Fish Springtown. This place was still brand new. No one came in to work for the time being. However, this would be arranged when Zheng Yuanqi returned. After that, He returned to the Lord's residence and looked at the materials needed to upgrade it to white silver tier intermediate grade. Construction upgrade. 100,000 units of wood, 100,000 units of fine sand, 100,000 units of metal, 100,000 units of stone, 100 units of white silver tier mist core, 10 origin crystals, 1 white silver tier territory token. White silver tier territory token. Zhou Zhou frowned slightly after reading the advancement requirements. He could satisfy all the other conditions. But this white silver tier territory token. Fish Spring Town is a green bronze tier area. The Scarlet Lords I killed in Fish Spring Town only have green bronze tier territories. If I want to obtain a white silver tier territory token, I guess I can only go to territories at white silver tier or above to take a look. Zhou Zhou was deep in thought. After thinking for a moment, he stopped thinking about it and looked at the reward given by the Lord announcement. The first was the supreme treasure chest. After he opened it, he found a piece of paper lying quietly inside. There was a red seal on it and some words to express the contract. Zhou Zhou took it out and looked at it. A text notification appeared. Treasure name. Mineral title deed. Miniature iron ore. Treasure grade. Yellow gold tier. Treasure effect. After signing the deed, the owner will have a miniature iron ore with a resource reserve of 100,000 tons. Treasure description. A treasure that can make mineral resources appear out of thin air in the territory. Prompt. The scale of the minerals is divided into miniature, small, medium, large, extraordinary, epic, legendary, and mythical. Iron ore? Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. He naturally needed iron ore. A large amount of iron ore was needed to make pure iron as raw materials, not to mention the manufacturing of mechanostriders. In addition, if he wanted to repair or forge the soldier's armor and weapons, he needed a large amount of iron ore as the main material. Originally, his previous solution was to buy these minerals from the exchange to complete the acquisition of raw materials. Now, he had a total of 100,000 kilograms of iron ore. It was enough for his territory to use for a long, long time. In the future, he would not have to buy iron ore from the exchange for the time being. Then he took out a pen from his spatial ring and wrote his name on the mineral contract for the mini iron ore. The next second, a virtual area map of the entire Blazing Sun Desert and a virtual city map of the desolate city appeared in front of him. A simple text notification appeared. Please choose the location where the mineral appears. I can even choose a mineral mining site. Zhou Zhou thought for a moment. In the end, he confirmed the location in the desert not far from Blazing Sun City. Mineral deed, miniature iron ore is successfully used. Congratulations, you have successfully obtained a miniature iron ore. Mineral name, iron ore. Mineral effect. A miniature open-pit iron mine containing 100,000 tons of iron ore. Mineral size, miniature. Mineral description. A mini iron ore that stores a small amount of mineral resources. We can send soldiers to mine it tomorrow. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then he looked at the advanced unique title of the race. Title. The glory of the Pioneer 2. Title quality. Unique title of the race. Title effect 1. You are famous among the Cerulean planet lords. More people admire your reputation and yearn to join your territory. The number of subjects you can summon through the gate of summoning every day, plus 100%. Professional talents of the same level as the territory among the subjects summoned plus 2. Title effect 2. When you speak in any channel, your unique title suffix will be added behind your lord title. You can take the initiative to turn it off or activate it. Title effect 3. This title will be upgraded to Glory of the Pioneer 2 and unlock more title effects when you become the first Cerulean planet lord to possess a white silver tier elementary grade territory. Title description. The Supreme will is the exclusive title given to the pioneer among the lords. Every pioneer of every race has a higher chance of achieving extraordinary achievements. I want to continue to maintain my development advantage. Only then can I obtain the glory of the Pioneer 3 before all the Cerulean planet lords. After Zhou Zhou saw the effect of the upgraded title, He nodded in satisfaction. Then he thought thoughtfully. As for the remaining one reputation rating point, it would depend on who the talent attracted by the reputation rating was tomorrow. After that, he arrived at the gate of summoning and spent 32,000 units of basic materials and 800 green bronze tier mist cores to upgrade it. Congratulations! Your gate of summoning has been upgraded to a white silver tier elementary grade building. You can summon 30 subjects every day. You will definitely summon 8 professionals every day. Prompt. Under the influence of the race's unique title, Glory of the Pioneer 2, you can summon 189 subjects a day. You will definitely summon 11 professionals every day. And the professional levels of 3 of them will be the same as your territory level. With the promotion of the unique title of the race, it's increasing the number of people it summons every day. Zhou Zhou lamented. He could only summon up to 63 people a day if not for the increase in population summoned by the Glory of the Pioneer 2. However, it had increased by 200% and had become 189 people. In the future, he would not have to worry about the lack of subjects in the territory. He was not surprised at the increase of the maximum summoning limit by 30 people. The last time he upgraded from Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade to Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade, it also directly increased the summoning limit by 20 people. It far exceeded the population increase brought about by small advancements. Therefore, it should increase the number of people to be summoned after the gate of summoning increases in level. Then, he looked at the requirements to upgrade the gate of summoning to the white silver tier intermediate grade. Construction upgrade. 15,000 units of wood, 15,000 units of fine sand, 15,000 units of metal, 15,000 units of stone, 200 white silver tier mist cores. Territory level upgraded to white silver tier intermediate grade. Zhou Zhou retracted his gaze. The requirements to upgrade the gate of summoning were much simpler compared to the requirements to upgrade the Lord's residence. He had all the other materials and resources. He only needed to raise his territory to the next level and he could directly upgrade it. After that, Zhou Zhou returned to the Lord's residence and came to the territory's stone tablet. He took out the regional token for Sand Gold Land. Zhou Zhou placed the regional token of the Sand Gold Land on his territory tablet. The next second, a suction force came from the territory token and sucked this regional token into it. Rows of golden text notifications appeared. Congratulations on obtaining a Black Iron Tier regional token, Sand Gold Land, and officially becoming the regional lord of this region. A new area, the Sand Gold Land, Black Iron Tier, has been added to your regional territory. You have obtained a regional treasure chest, exclusive to the Sand Gold Land. Zhou Zhou opened his regional territory column. He looked over. Regional territory, Blazing Sun Desert, Black Iron Tier, Sand Gold Land, Black Iron Tier. From now on, I officially own the Blazing Sun Desert and the Sand Gold Land. Zhou Zhou's lips curled up slightly. Then he opened the treasure chest of the Sand Gold Land. In the end, he saw a palm-sized stone nest model inside. What's this? Zhou Zhou held it in his hand and observed it. A text notification appeared. Treasure name, Golem Lair. Treasure grade, Black Iron Tier. Treasure effect. After placing it in the territory, the Lord will have a high-level military recruitment building that can recruit golems. Treasure description. A specialty of the Sand Gold Land. It can summon a high-level monster soldier type called a golem for the Lord's own use. Do you want to place it? Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. His eyes were filled with surprise. High-level military recruitment building? He only had elemental archers as his high-level soldiers. These golems were actually evaluated as high-level soldier types. He immediately realized that this was a good thing. However, he would only know its true effect after taking a closer look. Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou immediately took it out of the Lord's residence and came to an uninhabited desert in the territory. He placed the model on the sand and chanted "Place it" in his heart. The next second, the golem lair immediately began to grow larger and quickly turned into a golem lair that was 7 to 8 meters tall. On both sides of the entrance of the lair, There were two mighty and ferocious golem statues standing. Zhou Zhou looked at the building. The building information appeared. Treasure name, Golem Lair. Territory level, Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade. Building effect, high-level military recruitment building. You can summon 3 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade golems a day to become subjects of the territory and be used by you. Construction upgrade, 100 units of wood, 100 units of fine sand, 100 units of metal, 800 units of stone, 100 units of Black Iron Tier Mist Core, 50 units of pure iron. Building description, a high-level recruitment building that can recruit golems. The golems recruited have incomparably strong bodies and are not afraid of soul attacks. They are fearless in battle. All of them are fierce generals who look down on the battlefield. Prompt, this building can be upgraded to White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Prompt, this building can recruit up to 5,000 golems. If the golems die in battle, they will not take up the recruitment slot. Can it be upgraded? It's just that the upper limit is a little low. I can only upgrade it to White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. And there can only be 5,000 golems at the same time. Zhou Zhou thought. However, he did not feel too regretful. It was already very good to be able to obtain such a reward from a regional treasure chest given by a Black Iron Tier area. He did not recruit immediately. Instead, he upgraded it first. 1,100 units of basic materials, 100 units of Black Iron Tier Mist Cores, and 50 units of pure iron disappeared. This golem lair had also been upgraded to Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade. Treasure name, Golem Lair. Territory level, Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade. Building effect, monster recruitment building. You can summon 5 Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade golems every day to become subjects of the territory and be used by you. Construction upgrade, 200 units of wood, 200 units of fine sand, 200 units of metal, 1,600 units of stone, 200 units of Black Iron Tier Mist Core, 100 units of pure iron. Building description, a recruitment building that can summon golems. The summoned golems have incomparably strong bodies and are fearless of soul attacks. They are fearless in battle. All of them are fierce generals who look down on the battlefield. Prompt, this building can be upgraded to White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Seeing this, Zhou Zhou continued to level up and quickly upgraded it to Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade. At this moment, the Golem Lair could already summon Green Bronze Tier Elite Golems. In addition to the basic resources and the Green Bronze Tier Mist Core, its next upgrade requirements had also changed from pure iron to Green Bronze Tier material, forged stainless steel. Zhou Zhou had all these materials. Therefore, he chose to continue leveling up. After a while, the graphite nest was officially upgraded to a White Silver Tier Elementary Grade building. At this moment, he could already summon the White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Golem Leader. Apart from the basic resources and the White Silver Tier Mist Cores, the original Green Bronze Tier material, forged stainless steel, had also become White Silver Tier material, adamantine. Zhou Zhou had obtained such materials from the White Silver Tier materials package in the Novice Lord test, so he still chose to continue leveling up. A moment later, after spending a total of 363,700 units of basic materials, 700 Black Iron Tier Mist Cores, 700 Green Bronze Tier Mist Cores, 700 White Silver Tier Mist Cores, and a total of 900 kilograms of pure iron, forged stainless steel, and adamantine. The Golem Lair had already been directly promoted to the White Silver Tier Advanced Grade by Zhou Zhou. At this point, this monster recruitment building had already been upgraded to the upper limit. Zhou Zhou looked at the 20-meter-tall Golem Lair. Treasure name, Golem Lair. Territory level, White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. Building effect, monster recruitment building. You can summon 1 White Silver Tier Advanced Grade Golem Lord, not Scarlet Lord, 5 White Silver Tier Golem Leaders, 20 Green Bronze Tier Golem Elites, and 100 normal golems to become subjects in the territory and to be used by you. Construction upgrade. It has been upgraded to the maximum level of the building. Cannot continue upgrading. Building description. A monster recruitment building that can summon golems. The summoned golems have incomparably strong bodies and are not afraid of soul attacks. They are fearless in battle and are all fierce generals who look down on the battlefield. Seeing this, he immediately began to summon. The next second, rumble. 126 golems walked out of the golem lair accompanied by heavy footsteps and the sound of stones colliding. The leader was a white-silver tier advanced grade golem lord. "Greetings, my lord. I, Shirsah, am willing to serve you," Shirsah said in a muffled voice. Zhou Zhou nodded lightly. Then, he opened the other party's attribute information. In the end, he realized that the other party's interface was no longer a monster interface, but a normal subject interface. There was no change in ability. It still wore the same set of rock armor. As for loyalty, it was similar to the subjects that were summoned normally. Under the Lord talent of peace and prosperity, they were all at 71 points of loyalty and higher. Basically, they could be trusted. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. From then on, 126 golems that did not need to eat and drink would join his blazing sun city every day. With this group of golems with extremely sturdy bodies that were not afraid of soul attacks, standing in front as meat shields, he believed that every soldier behind them would feel a deep sense of security from them. Actually, he had also thought of letting this group of big golems go to the mini iron mine to mine iron or every day. But looking at their skills, he felt that it was a waste of his talent to let them work in the iron mine. Only on the battlefield could their abilities be perfectly displayed. All of you will temporarily join the Blazing Sun Army and fight alongside it every day. Zhou Zhou looked at them and said, "Yes, my lord," Shirsah said gloomily. "Oh yes. Where do you usually live?" Zhou Zhou asked. "I've something to report, my lord. Normally, we can stay in the lair. This lair can accommodate 5,000 golems. It's more than enough for us," Shirsah said. Zhou Zhou was deep in thought. This should be the reason why this golem lair could only summon 5,000 golems, right? At this moment, Zhou Zhou saw a caravan enter Blazing Sun City from afar. It was the mysterious caravan led by Zheng Fuge. However, the other party had already shed that mysterious appearance and returned to the appearance of an ordinary caravan. There had been other changes other than that. The first difference is their numbers and carriages had increased. When they left, there were only 28 people and 18 green bronze tier advanced grade carriages. And now, the number of mysterious merchants has increased from 28 to 36. The number of carriages also increased from 18 green bronze tier advanced grade carriages to 26 white silver tier elementary grade carriages. Zhou Zhou checked their information. They realized that they had already advanced from green bronze tier advanced grade mysterious merchant to white silver tier elementary grade mysterious merchant. His mysterious merchant's exclusive skill level had also increased from green bronze tier advanced grade to white silver tier elementary grade. Zhou Zhou immediately reacted. This was the upgrade brought to the mysterious caravan after the territory leveled up. It's time for Mu Gu to level up, Zhou Zhou thought. The second difference was, there were no goods on the carriage when they went. However, their carriages were already filled with goods. Looks like they'd gain a lot this time. Zhou Zhou smiled faintly. Soon, the news of the mysterious merchant's return spread throughout Blazing Sun City. When the subjects heard the news, they all came out of their homes with joy on their faces. They found Zheng Fuge and the others and got the miscore that they had earned from selling goods, as well as the daily necessities that they had always wanted. Zheng Fugue and the other mysterious vendors immediately got busy like normal merchants. Zhou Zhou was deep in thought when he saw this. My territory has been upgraded, and the area has greatly increased. Now, there are mysterious merchants replenishing the supplies in the territory. At the same time, the goods in the territory can be circulated for profit. Not long after, with the establishment of Sand Gold City, Blazing Sun City will no longer have to worry about the lack of all kinds of resources, especially water and food. There's basically nothing to worry about with Sand Gold City around. The upper limit of my territory's population should have increased by now. From tomorrow onwards, I don't have to worry about the population limit anymore. I can use the soldier-type recruitment books normally and continue to expand my military strength. Zhou Zhou's eyes immediately lit up thinking of this. To a lord like him, he would be able to continue to expand his forces. This was the result he wanted the most. At this moment, he saw Wu Tu leading the scout team in a blazing sun city before the scarlet fog completely descended. After Wu Tu entered, he immediately saw Zhou Zhou in the distance. He was stunned for a moment before he immediately got off his horse and ran to Zhou Zhou. "I've something to report, my lord. Wu Tu is back." He bowed respectfully. "How was your harvest today?" Zhou Zhou asked. "I've already drawn the regional map of Thorndune. I've also figured out the general situation of the few unclaimed areas in the vicinity." Wu Tu said respectfully. "Let's talk at my mansion," Zhou Zhou immediately said after hearing Wu Tu's words. Wu Tu replied respectfully and followed Zhou Zhou back to the Lord's residence. Lord's residence. In the study, Zhou Zhou looked at the map of Thorn Dune in front of him. Regional map name: Thorn Dune map, current exploration rate, 3%. Map quality: black iron tier. Total area: 315 square kilometers. Map introduction. This map has the rough terrain of Thorn Dune and related map information. It includes the range of scattered monsters, the range and location of the Scarlet Lord's territory. The area of this black iron tier territory is even smaller than the Blazing Sun Desert and Sand Gold Land. However, such a small place actually has so many factions distributed. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue as he looked at the many red dots on the map of Thorndune. The regional lord Scarlet Lord, Sandcorp's Lord, was the largest Scarlet Lord faction amongst them. There were 5 ordinary Scarlet Lord factions with black iron tier territories. Other than that, there was also a Lord of Foreign Race and a Human Lord faction on Cerulean Planet. I've finally encountered a second Human Lord faction on Cerulean Planet. Zhou Zhou's gaze landed on the red dot of the Human Lord faction on Cerulean Planet. This Human Lord faction was called Thorn City. The territory level was black iron tier advanced grade. He had about 200 military professionals under him. According to Wu Tu's description, most of his 200-odd military professionals were obtained by buying slaves from Fish Spring Town. He did not know where the other party got so many miscores to buy so many military professional slaves. Zhou Zhou looked at the 8 Lord factions on the map and thought of something. There were too many little jerks, no matter how many B** stars there are. And a fisherman's prey. I'll go to Thorn Dune tomorrow to catch these 8 shoals here. Zhou Zhou made up his mind. The day after tomorrow was the day of the Myriad Races Lord Battlefield event. He had to think of a way to increase his strength and power before the day after tomorrow. Moreover, with his current power, these 8 Lord factions combined were probably not enough for him to defeat. Heaven had given it to him, but he had been punished instead. Naturally, he would not give up the opportunity to swallow this fat piece of meat in front of him. Tell me about the surrounding unclaimed areas. After Zhou Zhou understood the situation in Thorn Dune, he looked up at Wu Tu and said, "Yes, my lord." Wu Tu said respectfully and took out a second map. This map was not a map of a specific region, but a rough map of the region. It roughly depicted the area within a radius of nearly 10,000 square kilometers of Blazing Sun City. Zhou Zhou looked at the map. There were a total of 5 areas drawn on it. The centermost part was the Blazing Sun City range that already included the Blazing Sun Desert and the Sand Gold Land. To its right was Thorn Dune, while the area on the left was Fish Spring Town. Directly below was a green bronze tier natural disaster zone, the Sandstorm Forbidden Zone. Below the Sandstorm Forbidden Land was a white silver tier area. As for the area directly above, it had not been explored yet, so it was an unknown area for the time being. Zhou Zhou frowned slightly. Fish Spring Town was a town under the Aurora Kingdom. He was getting along quite well with the Aurora Kingdom, so he naturally would not provoke the Aurora Kingdom after dealing with Thorn Dune. There was an unknown area directly above Blazing Sun City, so he didn't think about it for the time being. Directly below was a green bronze tier forbidden area, Sandstorm Forbidden Land. What's going on with this forbidden area? Zhou Zhou asked Wu Tu directly. I've something to report, my lord. The so-called forbidden zone of natural disasters. It refers to an extraordinary tier natural disaster in a certain regional territory or many regional territories that life forms can't interfere with, change, or restore. This kind of extraordinary tier natural disaster is different from normal natural disasters. Once certain regional territories are confirmed as forbidden areas for natural disasters, it often means that there are extraordinary tier factors involved in the natural disasters in these areas. For example, this green bronze tier, Sandstorm Forbidden Land. If it were a normal natural disaster, it would at most manifest as a short-term sandstorm disaster. But in addition to normal sandstorms, there are natural disasters such as elemental riots of wind elements and earth elements. Even if it's a green bronze tier professionals, once they're swept into the sandstorm here, I'm afraid they won't even last for 15 minutes before they're torn apart by the violent wind and earth elemental energy inside. If black iron tier professionals enter, they will die instantly. Only existences above the white silver tier can get through here safely. However, we can't stay for long. Otherwise, it's very easy for accidents to happen. There was once a white platinum tier adventurer who stayed here for a day and night and never came back. That's because this place is extremely dangerous to life forms and doesn't have much value in occupying it. Even powerful countries are not interested in occupying such areas. They don't even want it for free. That's why the countries on the high continent call this area a forbidden area because of the natural disasters. Wu Tu said. Zhou Zhou frowned. Most of his soldiers were at the black iron tier and green bronze tier. If what Wu Tu said was true, wouldn't he be completely helpless against this area? Then how did you cross this area and know that there was another area behind it? Zhou Zhou suddenly thought of something and asked Wu Tuesday. This sandstorm forbidden land has existed for decades. Professionals have already explored a sandstorm one-person pathway. I passed through this road alone and found out that there was a white silver tier area behind it. Wu Tu said, You alone? You're bold enough. Zhou Zhou looked at him in surprise. I've something to report, my lord. This sandstorm forbidden land has already been tried by many people. Even though there are some failures, most life forms have successfully passed through it. I've checked the past information of those who passed through it and summarized their experience. Only then did I dare to try. Wu Tu said calmly. Zhou Zhou looked at him. He realized that this young man's eyes and actions actually had the calm temperament of an adult after not seeing him for a few days. How rare. Zhou Zhou sighed. At the same time, he admired him even more. The young man in front of him had already surpassed most adults in many ways. Well done, Zhou Zhou praised. Then he took out a bottle of extraordinary tier potential advancement potion from his spatial ring and handed it to him. This is for you. Work hard in the future. I won't mistreat you, Zhou Zhou said. Wu Tu was already dead loyal to him. In addition, he had done his job so well. He was naturally willing to spend a lot of money to nurture him. Wu Tu was stunned. When he saw the potion in his hand, his eyes immediately became filled with disbelief. Thank you for the reward, my lord. Wu Tu immediately knelt down and said excitedly. At this moment, his face was flushed red, revealing his youthful nature. Zhou Zhou went forward to help him up. In the future, continue to explore all the unknown regions and territories around Blazing Sun City. It would naturally be best if we could draw a map of all their regions. Also, if there are any new developments in the future, report to me anytime. The mission to light up the map around the territory will depend on you. Zhou Zhou patted his shoulder, looking like he was entrusted with a big responsibility. Even though Wu Tu did not understand the meme of lighting up the map, he could understand the general meaning of this sentence. Therefore, he agreed without hesitation. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. A moment later, Wu Tu left. Zhou Zhou looked at the map for a while before walking out of the Lord's residence. He first came to Monster Ranch and found Mugu. Just as he thought, Mugu's Monster Ranch had also advanced from the Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade Monster Ranch Master and the Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade Monster Shepherd to the White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Monster Ranch Master and the White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Monster Shepherd when he was upgrading this territory. All his skills had advanced from Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade to White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. Moreover, he could already manage 7 monster ranches at the same time. The upper limit of the number of monsters cultivated in each White Silver Tier Elementary Grade Monster Ranch had also increased from 1,250 to 1,500. Moreover, the upper limit of the monster cultivated would also increase from Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade to White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. Zhou Zhou was aware of this. He asked him to bring a group of soldiers and architects to upgrade the 4 Green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade Monster Ranches to White Silver Tier Elementary Grade before tomorrow morning. In addition, he would build 3 new monster ranches as backup. In this way, Mugu could nurture 6,000 fog monsters every day in the future. It greatly increased his fixed daily income. Zhou Zhou returned immediately after settling Mugu's matters. He did not return to the Lord's residence. Instead, he came to Ashburn and showed him the yellow gold tier advanced grade mist energy cannon blueprint, asking if he could learn it. Ashburn was shocked that Zhou Zhou could find the mist energy cannon's alchemy technology product blueprint. However, he still shook his head. "My apologies, my lord. I'm only a green bronze tier advanced grade alchemy technician now, not even a white silver tier alchemy technician. Therefore, I can't learn this blueprint for the time being," he said with some regret and shame. If possible, he did not want to disappoint the Lord. He also wanted to learn how to make this rare mist energy cannon technology. But he really couldn't learn it. Zhou Zhou was a little disappointed, but not overly so. Ashburn was able to break through to the green bronze tier advanced grade alchemy technician in such a short period of time. This was already beyond his expectations. He could not ask for too much. It's a pity that this yellow gold tier advanced grade mist energy cannon blueprint is wasted. I can only find an opportunity to use it in the future, Zhou Zhou thought. Then, he returned to the Lord's residence and sorted out all the gains from the novice Lord test. The loots from corpses of more than 70,000 fire demons had finally been extracted at noon today. Putting aside the loots that he had calculated before, under the influence of the perfect loots, the remaining loots were 66,897 green bronze tier mist cores, 3,376 white silver tier mist cores, 514 yellow gold tier mist cores, 52 white platinum tier mist cores, 59,094 green bronze tier abyss crystals, 1,876 white silver tier abyss crystals, 114 yellow gold tier abyss crystals, 52 white platinum tier abyss crystals, 39,284 green bronze tier abyss contract books, 21,082 white silver tier abyss contract books, 12,151 yellow gold tier abyss contract books, 14 white platinum tier abyss contract books, 3,798 bottles of green bronze tier potential advancement potion, 374 bottles of white silver tier potential advancement potion, 12 bottles of yellow gold tier potion, 10 bottles of white platinum tier potential advancement potion, 2 spatial rings with a capacity of 100 cubic meters and 1,000 cubic meters respectively. Other than that, the Novice Lord test also brought 438 black iron tier advanced grade life profession talents to his territory, 30 green bronze tier advanced grade life profession talents, 18 white silver tier advanced grade life profession talents, 18 yellow gold tier advanced grade life profession talents. As for the unused Supreme Challenge immunity card, it had also become a useless souvenir after the Supreme Challenge. Other than that, there was also a large number of basic and some high-level resources from the resource bag. After calculating his gains, Zhou Zhou did not stay up late and returned to his bedroom to rest. The next morning, in the master bedroom, Zhou Zhou woke up. He subconsciously opened the World Channel and saw the lords discussing the battleground of the myriad races Lord Battlefield tomorrow. The event is starting tomorrow, but I feel that my military strength is still not enough. What should I do? Classic lack of firepower phobia. Actually, you can try to negotiate with the local forces and get them to help you. I'm poor. How can I have the capital to negotiate with those local big shots? Oop. Are you stupid? Have you forgotten the marketplace? The marketplace is actually an extremely generous resource to most lords without the talent of a lord or low-level lord. It's very simple to use it and negotiate with the local forces to obtain some help. Indeed, in my opinion, if the marketplace is a lord talent, it is at least an epic tier lord talent. More or less. We can buy some cerulean planet specialties from the exchange and sell them to the local forces. It's very easy to accumulate a batch of funds, but we have to choose the specialties well. The local forces won't be stupid to buy things that duplicate the effects of local products. Brain, I understand. Practical operation. What do you know? I obtain a batch of initial funds by reselling the things in the exchange. I already have a Miss Core and a slave subject. I envy all the big shots who can do business. I haven't encountered any local forces yet. Another day, I miss Big Boss Blazing Sunday. Previous poster. Are you thinking about Big Boss Blazing Sun? You're just coveting his soldier class change certificate. I'm too embarrassed to say it. Zhou Zhou looked at the words of these lords thoughtfully. These lords are right. The marketplace could indeed be used as a public resource for all the lords. If he used it well, it might not be inferior to those lords with extraordinary tier and epic tier lord talents. However, the extent to which he used it also depended on one's ability. He suddenly thought of the Thorn Lord in Thorndune. Could it be that the reason why the other party could have more than 200 military professions at this stage was because the other party used the resources of the marketplace to earn profits and bought so many slaves? He thought only for a moment before he stopped because there were no other clues. After that, Zhou Zhou washed up briefly and walked out of the Lord's courtyard to the gate of summoning. A text notification appeared. Prompt. Do you want to summon immediately? Yes, Zhou Zhou said. The next second, the gate of summoning suddenly lit up with a bright white light. Then new subjects walked out in teams. After 3 to 4 minutes, all the new subjects walked out of the gate of summoning. Greetings, my lord! X189. The 189 new subjects said respectfully. Hello, everyone. From today onwards, you are the subjects of Blazing Sun City. Zhou Zhou said. When the 189 people heard this, yearning appeared in most of their eyes. The remaining subjects were under the influence of the peace and prosperity of the country. Even though there was no expression on his face, he was looking forward to the lives of his subjects. Professionals, stand up. Zhou Zhou looked at everyone. A few seconds later, 16 subjects stood up from the crowd. Zhou Zhou looked at the 16 people, with a total of 10 men and 6 women. Among them, there was a white silver tier elementary grade chef, a white silver tier elementary grade martial master, and a white silver tier elementary grade carpenter. In addition, there were 5 green bronze tier advanced grade blacksmiths, 3 green bronze tier intermediate grade doctors, 1 green bronze tier elementary grade tailor, 1 black iron tier advanced grade merchant, 2 black iron tier intermediate grade farmers, and 1 black iron tier elementary grade blacksmith. Zhou Zhou looked at the 2 farmers and could not help but sigh. There were finally farmers. In fact, when they first arrived in the High Continent, many lords had summoned farmers on their first day. But he was different. He had finally summoned farmers on the 10th day. Fortunately, my territory is not suitable for racial crops. Otherwise, if my territory is a land with fertile soil, but I haven't been able to summon farmers, won't I be depressed? Zhou Zhou could not help but think. Then he looked at their interface information. Subject: Wei Dayun. Territory: Blazing Sun City. Life profession: Farmer. Profession class: Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade. Ability overview: A farmer from the Aurora Kingdom's light protected plains. He has a timid and introverted personality. His dream is to complete his wish to buy a house, marry a wife, and be exempt from military service by farming. In the end, he will become a rich farmer that the same village envies. Skills: Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Rice Cultivation. Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade Farmland Conservation. Loyalty: 77. Potential: White Silver Tier Advanced Grade. The other farmer had the same skills as him, but his potential was White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. Then, Zhou Zhou found an assistant nurtured by Elder Zheng and asked him to arrange their respective locations according to their abilities and the current work needs of the territory. Then he gathered the remaining 3,000-odd professionals, one soul reaper, and Nazario in the territory to the monster ranch. "Greetings, my lord!" Mu Gu and Zhao Changsho, who had been waiting at the entrance of the ranch, immediately said respectfully when they saw Zhou Zhou bring people over. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he looked at the smiling Zhao Changsho and clearly felt that his smile was not ordinary. "What makes you so happy, Elder Zhao?" Zhou Zhou asked curiously. "I've something to report, my lord. Last night, I heard that Mu Gu was going to build a White Silver Tier Elementary Grade monster ranch here, so I immediately came over to help. These 7 White Silver Tier Elementary Grade monster ranches have been built after a night of construction. In addition, I've already broken through the upper limit of my potential and reached the new architect realm. I'm already a Diamond Tier Elementary Grade architect." When Zhao Changsho said this, the smile on his face involuntarily deepened. He had finally broken through to the realm he had always dreamed of. And all of this was all thanks to his lord. Thinking of this, he could not help but feel even more grateful to Zhou Zhou. Zhou Zhou was also very surprised. He opened the other party's attribute panel. He realized that the other party's life profession class column had indeed shown that he was a Diamond Tier Elementary Grade. "Elder Zhao, with your current level, what rank would you be in the Aurora Kingdom?" Zhou Zhou asked. There were only 2 White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade architects in the Aurora Kingdom before I left the Aurora Kingdom and joined my lord. Moreover, both of them have already reached the upper limit of their potential. So as long as no other architect breaks through to the Diamond Tier in the next 10 days, then I should be the #1 architect in the Aurora Kingdom. Zhao Changsho smiled. Zhou Zhou also smiled and nodded. Then, he looked at the monster ranch in front of him. The 7 monster ranches in front of him were a third larger than the original green Bronze Tier Advanced Grade monster ranches. Moreover, the monster patterns on their fence became clearer. However, he could not see what monster was engraved on it for the time being. The 3 monster ranches were idle in these 7 monster ranches. Each of the remaining 4 monster ranches had 1,500 ranch monsters. From Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade to White Silver Tier Elementary Grade. Zhou Zhou was no exception. He directly asked Nazario to use Dragon Might to control the monsters in 3 of the monster ranches and let the soldiers deal with them one by one. He brought the Soul Reaper to the monster ranch of the Sandstorm Believers. "Take care of them. Let me see your ability." Zhou Zhou looked at Maris and said. He was very curious about the actual performance of this divine, kingdom-level soldier type on the battlefield. "Yes, my lord," Maris said respectfully. Then, it sat cross-legged on the ground and placed the huge black scythe in its hand on its knees. Then it closed its eyes. A few seconds later, the soul of Maris, who was surrounded by a black aura of death and wearing a black cloak, holding a huge black sickle in both hands, flew out of its body and floated in the air. An invisible might came from its body. Zhou Zhou's pupils constricted slightly when he sensed this might. This might? He actually felt that it was not much inferior to Bai Yi and Wu Xian's hero pressure. However, it was only a Black Iron Tier Elementary Grade non-hero. Zhou Zhou felt that it was unbelievable. At this moment, Maris bowed respectfully to Zhou Zhou before looking at the 1,500 Sandstorm Believers. After observing for a few seconds, it flew over with the black sickle in its hand. At this moment, The 1,500 wild sand believers in the monster ranch could not see Maris in his soul state at all, let alone realize that danger was approaching them. Soon, Maris flew in front of a black iron tier elementary grade wild sand believer. It only waved the huge black scythe in its hand slightly, and the soul of an unconscious wild sand believer was hooked out by the scythe and fused into it. The huge black sickle lit up with a faint red light. The wild sand believer fell to the ground and stopped breathing. The entire killing process took less than a second. Then, Maris came to the second black iron tier elementary grade wild sand believer and repeated his previous actions to kill it. In the following period of time, one by one, the wild sand believer were easily killed by Maris. Its movements were so relaxed. It did not seem to be reaping lives. Instead, he was cutting the grass with his sickle. Soon, this phenomenon was seen by the other wild sand believers in the monster ranch. They watched as their companions died in front of them for no reason. There were not even any wounds on their bodies. No matter how low their intelligence was, they were still panicking. But this was useless. The silent death continued. More than a minute later, Maris, which had killed nearly 300 sandstorm believers, suddenly stopped. Then, an even stronger power came from its soul. It had broken through. It was already a black iron tier intermediate grade soul reaper. This also meant that it could already include the black iron tier intermediate wild sand believers in its killing range. More than 6 minutes later, Masri, who had already advanced to the black iron tier advanced grade, returned to its body with a huge black sickle. Then it woke up. My lord, my god of death scythe, is already filled with souls. These souls need me to send them to the netherworld one by one before I can continue harvesting the souls of the enemy. So, I want to apply to rest for a while. Maris said respectfully. It's okay, rest first. Leave the remaining monsters to others to deal with. Save your strength to deal with the enemies later. Zhou Zhou suppressed the shock in his heart and nodded. Yes, my lord, Maris said respectfully. Then, it closed its eyes and placed its hands on the god of death's scythe to pray. During the prayer process, the light of the already red and shiny god of death's scythe also began to gradually fade. Zhou Zhou retracted his gaze and looked at the monster ranch of the wild sand believers. The original 1,500 wild sand believers were only left with more than 400 green bronze and white silver tier. The other 1,000 black iron tier wild sand believers had all been turned into soulless corpses without any wounds by Maris. Killed more than 1,000 wild sand believers in 8 minutes. So this is a divine kingdom tier soldier type? Zhou Zhou could not help but click his tongue.
Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.